Hi, Melissa. How you doing? I got your work up here. Let's go ahead and start with the presentation. Okay, so you mentioned your trade show booth, and the one thing I think that you need to do first is design some sort of a logo, or I know you have this right here. Make a change, save the ocean, save the coral. We're going to have to start putting that on your work here somewhere. This isn't the same thing. This is a different font here that you use. So over here you're saying this is the font we have to use, but over here you're using a different font. You see what I'm saying? So that's an inconsistency that we're going to have to address. Okay, this recycle. I mean, I think that you're kind of diluting your meaning here because with the recycle symbol, you're telling people that your project is on recycling, whereas your project isn't on recycling. It's on saving the coral reef. So you're choosing climate change. So recycling and climate change are two different things. So I think that is I don't think that's the right symbol to use there. That's why I'm saying I think you should create a logo, something that says climate change, something that says make a change, save the oceans. Um, okay, and if you take a look at well, actually, well, yeah, let's not do that. Let's just go ahead and take a look at the trade show booth. So you've got the trees, which seem to be kind of almost the center, or not the central attraction, but kind of like a drawing point, um, a focal point of your um, trade show booth. But the thing is that the trees themselves, I'm not seeing a connection between these two trees here and saving the coral oceans. Do you see what I'm saying? I mean, if you walk by this booth, you're going to look at it and you're going to say, if this had saved the trees, that would make a lot of sense. But since you're using trees to represent the oceans, that's creating a little bit of confusion there. The other thing about this assignment that I think is really important for you to know is that this is about sustainability. So we're not just designing booths and collateral pieces, we're designing pieces that are sustainable. How do we design sustainably with your, how do you show sustainability with your thumbnails? Easy. You just take an arrow, point to that, tell me what that's made from, tell me why it's sustainable and where it came from and why it's the most sustainable choice. And that's what we have to do with every one of these, like that rope right there. What's that made from? The plants, the vase. Well, if you keep the plants, what's inside? Are they real plants? Are they fake plants? The poster right here, we need to know what is that made from, and how is it printed? What is it printed on, and what kind of ink is used to print it? So you really have to give me a complete materials list so that we first and foremost we can make sure that the piece is sustainable. Okay, the next comment I have is for your informational collateral. So I'm assuming you're just going to be putting information on these four inside panels and then these panels as well for the accordion fold. And I know that you wanted this to look like the earth, and that's great. That's awesome. Good thinking there. My question is this, is what's going to prevent people from throwing this away once they look at it? Have you ever been to a trade show? Take a look at the trade show floor after a trade show, and you can see that people just throw stuff right on the floor. They don't even make it to the garbage can. So, and then look in the parking lots, and there's just garbage all over, and people really aren't very responsible. And we need to keep that in mind when we design this, because we need to design this in a way that will induce people to hang on to it and not to throw it away irresponsibly. Take a look at the couple of videos before yours, and you'll see the example that I used as the flyer that has a parking voucher in it. Don't use that. That's an example that's been given, but it's an informational flyer that has a parking voucher somewhere on one of the pages that says, if you turn this into booth blah, 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 you get free voucher for parking. Now, what does that do? It disseminates your information. You're circulating the information, you're handing people this informational collateral, and you're saying, okay, what can I do to prevent them from throwing it away? Let's give it some sort of a attribute that will induce them to dispose of it responsibly, or in this case, to turn it in for free parking. Okay, the water bottle, again, same thing with the recycle symbol on the water bottles, sending the wrong message for climate change. And the water bottle, again, I need to know exactly what is it made from, what are the materials. Same with this. What are the materials? What's the paper made from? And how is it printed? Why is it sustainable? And what inks are being used? Are they sustainable? Why are they sustainable? And tell me why that's the most sustainable choice for this particular piece and for this particular piece. Okay, so right now all I'm saying is that all we have to do now is start getting this involved in the materials portion of the assignment, meaning that I just really need a complete sustainable materials list for the ropes, the posts, the trees, the poster, the table, the ink for the poster, the plants, the whatever they're planted in, the flyers, the ink for the flyers, the material made for the bottle, the ink that's printed on, etc., etc. So it's going to take some research for you to get your materials list together. And the other thing I want to say is I believe we were looking for an entire 2 paragraphs. Let me see. Yeah, 2 paragraphs on the framework that best fits your concept. So you're doing C2C. I need 2 paragraphs on why that you're using C2C and why that is describe why that framework best fits your concept. Okay, so I'll be looking for that. And if you have any questions, please feel free to give me a holler. Thanks, Melissa.